broadly speaking, there are three main types of seventh chords. There are dominant seven, or you just call them seventh. You also have a minor seventh chord, and you also have a major seventh. So it's quite easy to remember because you already know the idea about major and minor, but now you're adding this third type, dominant seventh. But vast majority of time, you just say seven. So for example, you just say E7, which sounds like this, or D7, which sounds like this. Okay, but we're going to get a little bit more in depth. Okay, so the dominant seventh chords generally sound quite edgy. They are good for building tension. Okay, and then minor seventh chords, they sound sad, but potentially, although it's a little bit more, it's not quite straightforward as the others, but potentially they don't sound quite as sad as regular minor chords, it could be fair to say. And major seventh chords, they sound very soft and relaxing. So that, for example. Okay, so let's have a look at a few more examples. So I'm going to run through these because I know I'm going to play a separate clip of all of these chords. But just to demonstrate, you've got A7, D7, you've got C dominant 7 here, you also have E7, okay? So there are 4 of your dominant 7th chords. You've also got your minor 7, okay? So A minor 7, you've got D minor 7, you've also got E minor 7, and also B minor 7, like this, okay? And then lastly, you've got your major 7th chords. So C major 7, D major 7, you also have A major 7, and F major 7, played in different ways. All right? But I'm going to play you a clip now, so you actually have a much more, you have a chance to actually catch up. So I'll play that clip for you right now. Hey, so we are now doing some more complicated chords. These are 7th chords. They're not necessarily more complicated to play, but they're musically more detailed, I would say. So you have 3 main types of 7th chords, so the most common types, which are dominant 7th, major 7th, and also minor 7th. And let's start with some of those dominant 7th chords. They're used a lot in blues and lots of other genres. They have quite a tense feel about it. It's quite hard hitting, but that's good in lots of occasions. So let's start with A7. That is, can you see here, squash finger chord? You're going to take away your middle finger, so it's got a hole in the middle, so an open G, and that gives you A dominant 7, or just A7. Okay, so now we're going to have a look at D7. Now this is kind of a normal D flipped over, completely reversed. So you want index finger on first fret of B, middle finger, second fret of G, and also your ring finger on the second fret of the high E string. And avoiding the low E string, you're going to play A, D7. Okay? So that was A7 and D7. Okay, so now let's try a C dominant 7. So that's a little bit tricky because you've got 4 fingers that are being used in this chord. So try this normal C major chord shape, but with your little finger, you're going to play the G string on the 3rd fret. Again, it's better if you avoid the low E string. It's not the end of the world if you do play it, but when you strum, just try and do that. Okay, so avoiding the low E string, you've got C dominant 7. Okay, very nice and tense. And then you've got a E dominant 7, which is like your E major chord, but again with a hole in the middle. Take away ring finger, and there you go. Hey presto, E7. Okay, so let's run through that. A7, D7, you got C dominant 7, and then also E7. Good. All right, so let me just keep track of what I'm doing here. Okay, now we've got open minor chord shapes. Yeah, that's right. So A minor 7 is quite good because you've just done your E7 chord shape, take that down a string, and then you've got A minor 7 as well. Okay, that sounds nice. A minor 7. Now you've got D minor 7. A couple ways you can do this. So one way, maybe it's trickier at first, is to place one finger, and this is actually one of those occasions where it's okay to do this weird inward shape here with your finger. Press down on the 1st fret of B and E. Then with your middle finger, you're going to play the 2nd fret of the G. Again, avoiding low E string, you're going to play a D minor 7. The other option, by the way, for this, okay, is actually use your middle finger for the top string your index finger for the B string, and then your ring finger is going to come across and play the G string 2nd fret, and then that's also the same way, just different way of playing the same chords. Maybe that's more common, but you can also do this. Good. D minor 7. Now this is the best chord ever, because other than just playing the open strings, this is the easiest chord that you're ever going to do. Okay, so you're going to play index finger on the 2nd fret of A, and that gives you E minor 7, like your E minor, but even easier. Just one finger there. You can even use your middle finger, it doesn't really matter. Okay, that's E minor 7, and then B minor 7, you can do it different ways, but this is probably the easiest way. Index finger, 2nd fret of the A, 2nd fret of the G with your middle finger. Ring finger is going to be, lost my words here. It's going to be on the 2nd fret of the high E string. There you go, and you got B minor 7. Okay, so again, 1, 2, 3, B minor 7. Okay, so let's run through that again. A minor 7, you got D minor 7 played in this way or this way, and then you've got E minor 7, the super easy chord, and then finally you have B minor 7 here, which is like that. Okay, or you can play it like this. Alright, so there's the final type of 7th chord that we're going to cover today, which are open major 7th shapes. So these sound very smooth, very calming. For example, you've got C major 7. It's like a C chord, but what you're going to do here is you're going to take away your 1st finger, and that gives you C major 7. Okay, very nice, relaxing chord. D major 7. Again, different ways of doing this. You can just press your 1st finger again across different strings on the 2nd fret of G, B, and E, which gives you D major 7, like so. Then you got A major 7. Oh, sorry, the other way of doing that last chord, by the way, like your squash finger chord before on the A, so to play A major, if you actually move that down a string, that also will give you D major 7. Okay? Then you've got your backwards triangle. Sorry, I'm thinking of another one. That's your D7. What are we doing now? In fact, actually, that would lead you very nicely, and it's probably why I thought of this. If you take your D7 chord shape that we've played just now, what you can do is then move that up a string. That will give you A major 7. So from a D dominant 7, actually it's the same shape, but just up a string to give you A major 7. Okay, so just to summarize, that's ring finger 2nd fret of B, you've got your index finger on the 1st fret of G, and also you've got your middle finger on the 2nd fret of D. Perfect. Okay, and then you've got F major 7. Now F major 7 can be played in different ways. You can do, for example, this. That's quite stretched though. I'm actually using my thumb to play the low E string 1st fret. That's hard, but I'll show it to you anyway. Thumb on what I just said, 1st fret of the E string. Then you've got ring finger on the 3rd fret of the A, 3rd fret on the D is with your little finger, 2nd fret of the G is with your middle finger. You got your 1st finger on the B string 1st fret, and then you've actually you're playing the high E string that produces the F major 7, and that will, it's quite a nice chord because you get quite a low sound with the E string, but then it's got that nice ring to it as well. Okay. However, there's another way of doing this. You can just forget about the thumb and just do that. Okay, that's technically a slash chord or inverted chord. However, another way, and maybe it's probably the way if you're just a beginner, I'll do it this way. So it's index finger 1st fret of B, middle finger 2nd fret of the G, and ring finger 3rd fret of the D. Just plucking down from the D string. You could include the A, that's not such a problem. But remember, very crucially, you have to keep that finger nice and curved because you want to play the high E string, okay, when you play. So there you go, that's your F major 7. Perfect. And I think that covers all the 7th chords that we're doing for now. So